Welcome to Thunder Nerds. I'm Brian Hinton.
And Janelle Pizarro.
And I'm Frederick Philip Von Weiss, and thank you for consuming the Thunder Nerds, a conversation with the people that love what they do.
And do tech good.
Yeah.
Fingers. Everyone else did fingers, and I was like, oh, okay, we're doing fingers. Cool.
And today we are talking with the man at the spot. It's like double, triple meta. We're talking with Dan Denney. Welcome, Dan.
At the front end comp.
At the front end comp, the 10th year anniversary.
Yeah.
Where's this at? Where are we
St.
at?
Pete. We're at the Palladium.
Palladium, wow.
It's today and tomorrow, so if you somehow see this and you want to come, you can still probably come tomorrow.
Yeah. You should get here. Man, Dan, it's so great to talk to you again. You were just on the show a little bit, and we got a chance to talk to some of your family downstairs who got to know you a little bit more by watching the show, which was great.
Yes. Yeah, they tune in to catch up on what I'm doing.
Exactly. So I'm sure. Welcome, Dan's family. That's everybody that's watching right now.
I'm wondering now if we should have maybe a weekly or like bi-weekly.
Oh yeah, like what's going on with Dan?
There's a gap between holidays. Maybe I should come out.
That could be the name of every episode with him. What's going on with Dan?
What's going on with Dan? Dan and Christmas. Well, you should get Dan this year.
Dan special.
What do you want for your birthday? We can tell them right now.
And that's coming up. So, hey, man, how did the opening go?
I think it went well. Nobody booed, which is
Right.
always a good sign, right?
I would imagine they wouldn't. No.
Yeah. But yeah, that seemed to go well. I think some of the things seemed to land, and like some of the people, I'm sure, got their cheeks red when they get called out about like how special they were and how they have done something amazing for the community or for the conference over all these years.
Oh,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
Like whom? Who?
Andy Graham, local hero. Chris, who I know you were just talking to, front end hero. And then like I went into like some little bits of like the first person that bought a ticket. You know, is a guy named Steven Rosenberg. So he bought the first ticket, and you remember that stuff.
Wow, that's so cool.
Oh,
And then he bought the first 2 tickets the second year. So it was like, so he was now bringing, he had hired somebody, or he was bringing like that other person with him. So it was really, really cool. Like little things like that. They're just like these little kindnesses that happen throughout conferences. And like, I even talked about how my first conference, Jason Pomental, who's like a typographer, like a responsive typographer, I guess is what you would dub him if you had to in the industry. Yeah. He ended up sitting next to me at that conference and just like said hi and started talking to me. And then like that actually made the conference for me, because I would up there by myself, I would have just like stood off in the corner drinking their coffee by myself. And instead I had someone to chat with all day, and it made it a wonderful time. So.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So what's some of the highlights for you today and tomorrow?
Well, like it's a weird thing when you actually are like involved with the conference. The
Yeah.
highlight so far is that we got the
Everything's
breakfast.
working.
Yeah, was there, and then we got the snacks, and they were there.
Electricity's on.
And at noon, hopefully, we'll get the delivery for the afternoon snack, and that'll be like you have different objectives.
It's all about the snacks in there.
Yeah.
Oh, the audio doesn't work? We have snacks.
Oh yeah, well like we hardly ever have to worry about that here. They're really amazing, like seriously. And this year we even added they added the downstairs speaker, which is really, really cool.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you're down in the break room,
I love that.
we never had that any other year, and it's amazing.
I thought that was so smart.
Yeah.
I was grabbing a coffee, and I was able to hear you guys.
Yep, yeah, it's really, really cool. So yeah, that's been. So yeah, but of course, like you only catch tidbits of talks, and so like because you're running around doing all this kind of stuff. But of course, Minos was fantastic. I can't say as much as I could.
Can I ask you a kind of big question in a small way?
So,
What?
No.
Damn, look at that.
Oh, this got weird.
What does the 10th anniversary of the Front End Design Conference mean to you on a personal level?
I think the front end conference is probably the best thing I've ever done. So really, like, it means a lot that like it's still going, it's still here. So it's actually a really, really, really big thing.
I love that. Yeah, and it's thriving. People know about it. People talk about it. People wait all year for this event.
Yep. And I love that it's like been able to continue on even in the interim of us like not being able to keep up with it with life. So like with some of our changes that we had, which Gene and them stepped in and like I've been running it for a few years. So
So you're gonna start another one too now? I think you should do a front-end development conference.
We're kind of have the itch a little bit, to be honest.
Oh,
yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Best thing for an itch is to scratch it.
Yeah. We've settled in a little bit, and so yeah, I think there's a good chance that.
Yeah.
Another Florida conference would be nice. I said it in our previous discussion with you, but like just the fact that we have this, and it's in Florida. It's awesome because I still feel like the East Coast to Southeast is underrepresented in the design community. And
that's one of the reasons we started it.
Started to change.
See, I love this because, I mean, I was invited last year to speak, and that literally took off into, like, me being with you guys. So, like, this is kind of holds a special place for me, too.
Those are my favorite thing.
Yeah.
There's a thousand.
I kind of want to cry.
You can cry. You're welcome.
Yeah, these guys and this conference really means a lot to me. So, I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
You
can cry. We can cry together.
Yeah, like you guys are all really fantastic.
Yeah, and your speech last year was amazing too. So I thought it was very inspiring.
The first time, I was very excited.
Well, kicked ass for your first time.
Well, thank you. I really love that you guys do this. I'm sorry that I'm crying, but it really means a lot to me that you guys are doing this.
Awesome. Well, it means a lot to us too, because like, that's the win. Is like all these little things, and you learn about all like stuff like that. Like I didn't know that's how you met, and now you're on the show.
Yeah.
But now I'll hold that like forever. Now it's like it's in this collection of all these little stories of like people that have gotten new jobs or moved companies or got made new friends.
Yeah, and from the beginning too. Like Chris Coyer, like
with Wufu.
I mean, and things like this. Touch everyone. Happy tears are great. It's just it's awesome, and it's just solidifies the importance of things like networking and meeting and connecting with others, and in this industry where what we do is in some ways connected to the world, but also very disconnected, where we're working through a computer or something like that. Being able to come together at events like this is really important.
I think they make a huge difference in in keeping the community in a good spot too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you noticed, but things can get a little weird on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Our community has a little struggle. I think Ethan actually has this quote, and I've been trying to find it forever. And he said that humanity isn't ready for empty input boxes.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, that's actually very true. Like,
there's placeholder text.
Disable.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like I think that we get a little crazy when all of a sudden you're not sitting around somebody. There's a lot of weird stuff that can happen on Twitter, but you don't see that stuff here. You just see like people talking and reading stuff. Yeah,
we're social animals. We want to interact with each other, and we want to pick each other's brains and kind of see what's going on currently with our peers. And you could obviously watch tutorials online. You could watch some of these speeches online as well too. But it doesn't have the value of actually being here and connecting with people and being a part of these kind of events. Yeah. I'm a people.
We were talking about that last night.
Real. Look.
We were talking about that last night because I was like, I've never heard of someone asking, their boss, like, can I take tomorrow off and watch
a video?
That would not go
well. Right? Like, have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
I mean, the knowledge is there.
Some places might.
And there are some online ones where you can do it that day of, like, whatever.
Yeah.
And, you watch it, but it just never ends up the same. Like, you end up almost kind of, like, working while listening to it and doing anything like that. And it's just a completely different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think even if you had, like, a augmented reality way to be at a conference, it's not the same thing as actually being here and making those human connections. Rubbing shoulders with a Chris Coyer or whomever, and saying, hey, I like what you do, and I wanted your thoughts on this or that.
Yeah, it's really important.
I think it's really cool that there's events that are around it as well, like the CodePen meetup last night. That was really nifty. The fact that you're joining not only just through a conference, but through connections and meetups as well. So people who wouldn't necessarily come to the conference because maybe they can't afford it or just can't go for some reason. They can still connect with conference people like the day before
and have that open and public.
I love that. That was really really
nifty. It was a great idea on Adam's part too. Like he was just like he pinged us and was like, "Hey, I want to run this in the thing." I was like, "Oh yeah, let's."
And there were a bunch of people that went there that were not going to be able to make it today, absolutely. So they were able to connect with people that came to town. We were able to meet Chris Square. We were able to like participate. And by the way, if you've never been to CodePen meetup, that was actually my first one.
Okay. Oh really?
Because that's the first one in this area anyway. I've never been to a CodePen meetup, so it was pretty awesome to go to it, and definitely go to them because there was presentations and they showed demos of interesting projects on CodePen, and it was awesome. It was like very insightful and like it's like, hey, I want to do something like that. And that's another point to these sort of events is that you see some presentation, you're like, oh, I could do that. I mean, earlier, we're talking to Rob, and his presentation's about discovery, and it's a very obvious but untalked about concept that companies could definitely take advantage of. And watch is it going to be streamed at all, or is there going to be recordings at all?
No. There's this.
Yeah.
So. Try and make it to his talk then, or see him at another.
Yeah, if you can be here by after lunch.
So
we got plenty of time. There's no excuse. It is 1 minute to noon. You could be here.
Yeah, plenty of time. But like being able to apply concepts at conferences is really great. And you were talking about how events outside of it, like WWDC, they have. They have a lottery to get in, but there's actually in the hotel next to where it is, there's a free conference that people go to and watch WWDC live. And so, it's just awesome how people are and how things work like that.
And the one thing I really like about like the CodePen meetup or in anything is something that's interactive and a much more lower level share for people, because it's a lot big deal to prepare a talk or pitch a talk or do anything. But that was like last night they were just like they're sharing something they've been working on, and then like, hey, does anyone have an idea how I could work and make this better? And they reworked an entire like animated gradient together as a group. And it was just like that's why we're here. Like I want to get together in a room with people that love this stuff and like jam on it.
It's your conference day.
There's gonna be some interactive in anything I ever do.
Awesome.
CodePen conference.
CodePen conference.
Actually,
I think they might own that.
I think there is one in Chicago.
They're gonna post on it.
Yeah, it's
it was
supposed to be on my birthday. So.
I love the graphic for that. I was like, and then I resized it, and I was like, oh my bloody head. It's for audio and our listeners that don't know what I'm talking about, we'll have a link, but it's like dynamically, it's responsive, but it's responsive in a way that the graphic changes completely. And it's so cool.
It's beautiful. So as far as cool CodePen meetups too, most of the CodePen meetups that I know about are run by really awesome CodePen developers, so that are actually really famous in the CodePen space. So, for example, Adam Kuhn is amazing on CodePen. He's
Cobra
like
Winfrey.
Yes, Cobra Winfrey. He's literally
the best name.
Yes. So for Adam, Adam for me is he's the first person that I ever saw on CodePen ever, and was immediately So I was immediately like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I was able to see him like when I was going through the Iron Yard, and I walked up to him and I was like, hi, and he's like, I'm Adam, and I was like, I know. And, he's probably like, oh my gosh, that's a little creepy. Probably don't
sign my computer screen.
Yeah, I had never even heard of CodePen.
The actual screen.
Yeah, screen.
I just want to code with Adam's name all over the place. But he got me super into CodePen, and that's really awesome too. That you can see people who are absolutely spectacular at what they do. The one in Orlando is run by David Khorshid. David K. Piano, if you all have seen his stuff, so great. And that one is on Monday if you're in Orlando. It's in Isaiah, so you should probably come. It's amazing that conferences and meetups like that can connect people like that, and it's a beautiful thing.
So what do you want to tell people about the Front End Design Conference that they might not know about this year?
Man, what would I want to tell? I don't know. There's a lot. It's a pretty automatic thing. Like I have the longest URL ever. So it's like Front End Design Conference. Thankfully, shorted up, but it's
should add the year at the end too.
I guess the one thing that I would say that that I would want people to know is that you should submit a talk, and that doesn't mean like that we're like please like we're out of speakers or anything like that. But I think that I think a lot of people think that maybe we are only inviting people or just looking for people or something like that. But you should definitely like get in touch with people, share what you're sharing, and then submit a talk so that you can be part of that.
So if somebody's not a well-known person in the industry, you could still submit a talk and have a chance to speak.
Yeah, that was something we took pride on throughout the years.
Yeah.
I mean, in running a conference, to be honest, like there's always like it is extremely valuable to have a very well-known person because that person's going to
attract people
and buy tickets. But I made, God, it sounds so like tooting my own horn, but I made a lot of effort to try and go find people that had never spoken. Yeah. So there were a lot of first-time speakers throughout the years, and so I did it like on a research level, like a social researcher or stalker, or whatever you want to call it. Like
I want to say stalker.
Blog posts you've written, tweets, like code pen shares, anything like that. You're like, oh, you're sharing all the stuff you're doing this, but you haven't gone up on like there and just shared with the community directly yet. I would try and get those people. It's like how the community continues to grow and keeps getting better.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Like, I think this might be her first time speaking.
Quan Luo?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's her first time or not, but I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Was amazing.
I'm very excited for hers.
I liked her last. She had some really interesting ideas.
Yes.
Yeah, just that whole thing about what was one of the main topics? Yeah, jealousy as a friend, where all your other emotions could be fuzzy, and you could look at jealousy as a clear indicator of the things you want. Yeah. I actually posted that on as a question on the Sad Boys podcast, and they took that topic for another 20 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
That's all you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So it was another way to talk a little bit more about that. It's pretty interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool concept.
Last year, there was, I think her name's Amber White or
Osborne.
Osborne?
I think.
Amber Osborne. Oh, we've had Amber Osborne on the show.
Well,
might be. Oh no, that's not Amber Osborne.
That's Amber Osborne.
Mr. Structo, it's Amber Osborne. Yeah. I got the name wrong. It's Amber.
I'm not entirely sure either, but she used to work at IBM, and that was it was either last year or the year before. It was her first time speaking as well, and now she works for Indeed as like one of their lead designer developers, which is incredible because just a year or two ago she was just starting out, which is like something like this conference can really just skyrocket you places. And it's beautiful to see her work as well, right? Like her work is just incredible. And I think you definitely, like you and your team have had a huge impact on that. For sure. Absolutely. I really do think that that's a thing.
I always struggle with that a bit because what? I think they did it. Like, and it's just like, I know, like, we just like have like a door and like, but they decide like to open
go through it.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Right? Like, here's the thing. You built that door, you built that house, you built that stage.
You should feel good about it. You should feel very good about
it. It's not that, it's just like, I just always want to make sure that it's that they took that like grit and that effort to like submit that talk and put it all together. And,
I get it. You don't want to take ownership of their success.
Yeah, it's on them. They made the step. They took ownership of their own destiny.
And I'm not like, I know that like somebody has to also have a platform like that. That is a valuable thing, and I take a lot of pride in that. It's just one of those things that like it's one of those complicated emotions, like what we were just talking about. It's like you're like, oh, this is a weird state to be in.
I think what I'm understanding from this is there's like a lot of humility in you, which is amazing and beautiful and wonderful as a human being. But also like you should totally own that because like that's. I mean, especially as someone who has benefited from the platform you've built for me, it's a huge thing, and I'm gonna cry again. It's just amazing, right? So I don't know. I really, I guess maybe speaking for other people who have kind of like skyrocketed, I really like. We thank you for sure. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I've benefited from it too, which is like that other thing too. It's like we were talking about this the other day. Like we were doing a local meetup on like how to get the job that you want and everything. And I was like, I haven't applied for a job in a long time. Like, and it's just because like when you start meeting people, it's just a natural thing in our industry. When someone needs to hire somebody, they think of all the people I've met recently that do this, and they like reach out and like talk, and that all just comes from like this never.
Dan Denney, of course I want him on my team. Absolutely.
I think that's a big point to underline is what you just said is networking. And when you come to these conferences, you certainly do a lot of that, not just as far as meeting people, but understanding yourself and not so much comparing, but being able to see what your peers are doing and finding inspiration in that.
Right.
You could look at the jealousy of what someone is doing as a friend.
It's the callback, right?
Yeah.
And definitely don't be afraid to talk to people either. I mean, a lot of people are afraid of going up to the speakers and being like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And
these are real people.
I mean,
They are.
Yeah, we're all people. I mean, don't be afraid. And I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm a huge introvert, so I tend to my approach tends to be like, oh, there's 2 people over there, and there's not 50. I'll go talk to those 2 people. I mean, that's fine. That's how I work, and work within your
comfort zone. Yeah, do what's best.
I think for meetups and conferences, a really huge thing is meeting someone you don't know, and that's like I have to make sure that no matter if it's a conference or a meetup, I meet someone that I don't know, that I've never seen before, that I might never have seen if I didn't come to that meetup or that conference, because you never know that could totally make your day. They might also be an introvert, right? We should totally invite anybody to lunch.
Just like random.
We need to, because that really can not only just make someone's day, they feel noticed and appreciated, but also you can make a really lifelong friend from 5 minutes of conversation with somebody that you would have never spoken to before.
Very true.
So a huge thing too is one of my tips of the trade to meet people that I don't know is actually walk around with food that I've not eaten that I'm offering to people. So I used to buy cookies at meetups, and I would grab cookies and I would say hi to people that way. I'd be like, "Hi, would you like some Publix cookies that I just bought?"
Yeah, I love that,
Because that way you meet somebody, right? And you also have cookies. So who doesn't?
I love cookies.
I just tripped with hot coffee and spilled on
it.
Is that
You
an
want the
okay
meat
way?
cute. That's what you want.
Is that the okay way to do it? I don't know.
People are fun.
Well, Dan greeted us with a wonderful popcorn
Water
and water
brownies and popcorn.
brownies.
And then he started rubbing Frederick's feet.
Oh my gosh.
It was intimate. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, yeah.
Well,
cool for it.
No, go ahead.
Do you have anything else awesome to say about being here and running this conference?
Well, I think it's again. I know I said it on another one, but I think it's really invaluable that what you're doing here. Like, I think it's really, really cool because there are some people out there that you get the thing where you just wish you could have attended something, and I guarantee you there's somebody that can just throw this on right now and be like, at least I can hear about it. I can know there's part of the stuff going on. I get to hear the speakers talk and break down some of their stuff and get an idea of that, which then they can go research the blog post or a recording of something afterwards. So
and it becomes a full circle as a benefit to even the events, so that maybe next year the person who got to see an understanding of what was going to be what was at the event, and then next year they're gonna be like, oh man,
I have to go to that.
Totally have to go to that next year.
Or submit a talk, right?
Or submit a talk.
Yeah.
Because he said so.
So the moral of the story is submit a talk.
You could be on a podcast.
You could be on a podcast. Come here. Shake hands with Dan.
Yes.
Shake hands with Dan.
Shake hands with Dan. Be like, happy 11th Front End Design Conference, Dan, next year.
And give him a big hug, and make it awkward.
Make it super
Very awkward. Yeah.
They love awkward.
Yeah. I tend to do the kiss on the cheek, though.
Don't hug Frederick.
I will kiss you on the cheek. I will kiss you on the cheek.
I'm sitting near
Yeah. On that note, everybody, Dan, thanks for being on the show. Super appreciate it. And again, just thanks for everything that you're doing with the conference and really helping the community and supporting people that do amazing things.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys after lunch.
See you after lunch. Toodles and noodles.